The moment of truth is coming in the Russian-Ukraine war. Can the Biden team meet it? The answer is ominously unclear. I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better manage these turbulent times. The stakes involved in the war raging in Ukraine extend far beyond that democratic country's independence. Its impact is worldwide. Success for Putin would tell adversaries and would-be adversaries that the U.S. lacks the will and diplomatic skills to preserve with its allies a peaceful liberal world order. Putin has long made clear he wants to wreck NATO and undermine American power in Europe. Under his scheme, the breakaway countries of the old Soviet Union would effectively come back under Kremlin control. The Baltic states of Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia would be physically reincorporated into Putin's new empire. Central and Eastern European nations, particularly Poland, would become Kremlin satellites, as they were during the Cold War. That is, independent in name only. Western Europe, concluding the U.S. has lost its mojo, would become more accommodating to Moscow's wishes. The NATO alliance would wither into irrelevance. Conquering Ukraine and obliterating its sense of being a separate nation has always been key to Putin's plans. His forces suffered utterly unexpected setbacks in western Ukraine in the war's early weeks. But now, Moscow is grinding away, taking territory in the east, where flat plains, short supply lines, and massive superiority in tanks, rocket artillery, and aircraft are favoring the invaders. From the start, the U.S. has been slow in supplying the amount and models of weapons Kyiv needs to win. The French and Germans, no surprise, have been slow walking supplying equipment. With winter looming and the overhanging threat of reduced Russian natural gas shipments to Western Europe, especially to Germany, Putin figures the combination of relentless military pressure, the constant arbitrary attacks on Ukrainian civilians, a global food shortage, and NATO fatigue will enable him to get an agreement that will give him control of sufficient territory, including Ukraine's ports, to render actual Ukrainian independence a chimera. Putin will have won, despite the initial and embarrassing reversals. Beijing and others will conclude that perseverance will win against the U.S. Asian nations will take note. All this is why the Biden administration must stop its piecemeal supplying of weapons to Kyiv and go all out in giving what is necessary, even if that means temporarily running down our own inventories. Now we're finally delivering the highly effective long-range mobile rocket launchers, the HIMARS, but the number is inadequate. We haven't provided our most advanced drones for fear Putin would be offended. Seriously? We should also deliver F-16 fighter aircraft, which would be critical in neutralizing Russia's advantage in artillery and tanks, not to mention destroying its supply depots in Ukraine. The U.S. should also coordinate convoys of ships from neutral countries to pick up grain from Ukrainian ports to alleviate disastrous food shortages in poor countries. Putin denies he's blockading Odessa and other ports on the Black Sea. Let's take him at his word. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions. I look forward to being with you